Okay, this is Malika. My targeting is phenomenal. The level of targeting. The King of Swords and Swami Chidvilasananda did invade Colorado back, in around 2009, and it culminated with their orchestration of the catastrophic flood of 2013 that turned the I-36 route up the mountain into a miniature Grand Canyon. That's the level of targeting, okay, the level of floods and earthquakes that I'm dealing with. So my phone is completely hacked. I can't make any phone calls right now. My beautiful Facebook site, my group site, has been shut down and deleted. And I had a couple of other sites there. I had my targeted individuals, our special site. I had over 1,000 followers on that. And some of the heads of the PD here are running all the black ops. So, and there's an incredible amount of homicides in a typically decent area, and trafficking in the whole entire county. And I have a lot of sexual assault, sexual harassment. And my cat keeps getting kidnapped. So anyways, I want to make the point to the public that it's very, very, very critical. It's very, very, very important that the law be enforced. That is what is going to stop the reptilian invasion headed by Swami Chidvilasananda and her galactic counterpart Shiva Kasa, who is a soul fragment of hers from a former lifetime. And King of Swords, who's the second Antichrist, the beast of the sea, as confirmed by Archangel Michael. He is head of the dark government and the conduit between the reptilian occupation on Earth and the U.S. government. He set up all the black ops, and he's only in control of the black ops and heads all covert harassment on the planet, which targets only civil rights activists and whistleblowers and peace activists such as myself. So that's tremendous. And yet he uses reptilian technology from the underground bases and so on, and from his interaction with the reptilian fleet, which is headed by Admiral Saint Germain of the New Jerusalem. And that's alarming, but half of the New Jerusalem is reptilian. And they lie. Okay, they lie outright, so you have to be very careful and very discerning if they get around you. The whole situation is easily rectifiable with the arrest of about 5 people. Okay, so they do kick up they kick up their feet a lot. They kick up a storm a lot. Because they know all too well, because so much of their time in this lifetime, previous lifetimes, has just gone into figuring out how to destroy others' lives. So they have figured out it's very important to keep all their dark links together and to keep all of their links out of prison. That's why they've set up putting out so much propaganda and manipulating some of their puppets, such as Milley and Biden, into keeping themselves out of prison and using an international mafia attorney who's been the attorney for the Antichrist, or at least a devotee of hers, since at least the 90s. I do know, I cannot say that he was doing it for her, but I do know that she had Swiss bank accounts in the 90s, possibly the 80s, because I was on staff in her ashram back then. So, but with the arrest of these few people, the reptilian invasion will stop, the contrived war will stop. And largely the attacks to the planet and the black ops will be blocked, will be stopped. And also, with a few other people, Biden can be neutralized. And then there are other warlords. Unfortunately, it's turned into a snowball effect, but at the same time, people need to realize that the main criminals and terrorists need to be arrested. The evidence is there, and many, many of us have been victim to it. So it's very easy to do, and do not take no for an answer from the system. Because if the system says no, then you're dealing with a corrupt official that needs to be held accountable for the obstruction of justice, for false proceedings, and for breaking the law, and for crimes against humanity. So, you have, in the U.S., you have our legal system. Um, you know, um, I do know, you have the Supreme Court, then you have the Hague, the International Court, and then the Solar Tribunal is the legal governing body of the galaxy. Okay, and then you have the positive ETs, the term that I use, for the benevolent ETs that are, in control galactically of the universe, that I've talked about many times, many times before, to let people know the situation and to give the landscape of what's going on. So they're in control of 2/3, and the reptilians have another third. And on Earth, the light, and that's the light in control of the universe, 2/3. And on Earth, the light has critical mass. So we incarnated on Earth to bring the return of Eden, the Garden of Eden, back to the physical plane because of how much damage the Black Dragon, the Serpent, Malti Shetty, formerly Swami Chidvilasananda, has done with her reptilians that are a slave group, victims of her former nuclear holocausts and cosmic holocausts, because she's caused all of them, 4 or 5 of them, with Admiral Germain in the past, and 550 million planets that she has blown up. So we came to Earth to assist with the return of the Creator's divine blueprint, his paradise, the Creator's paradise, back to the physical plane, the return of Eden, the Garden of Eden, which was Lemuria. And they didn't finish anchoring the protection right on the brink of attaining the enlightenment to figure out how to protect it, which was to ascertain that there were dark factions around the reptilian regime, and to figure out how to shut it down so the universe can evolve freely. And also in its natural state of abundance, which is the Garden of Eden. And so right before they started getting the enlightenment to do that, the reptilian Swami Chidvilasananda Shibakasa saw that Earth was leading cosmic evolution and decided to invade the planet. And they sank the continent of Lemuria in the Pacific Ocean, and also they infiltrated Atlantis and caused duality there. So Lemuria was a unity-based and a matriarchal civilization, or feminine. There are no words for its exquisite beauty. And they did retreat to the inner earth, which is Agartha. So it is our ancient Lemurian ancestors. And the civilization lasted 200,000 years. And also their lifespan is 2,000 years. At least it was back then. I haven't checked with them recently. I learned about Agartha from Sheldon Idle's material. He is a contactee. He was in Agartha that started when he was 9 years old. He is an ambassador to the galactic realm. He is a phenomenal communicator. He's very famous, and he, last time I've known, 10 years ago, he was very close to finishing a PhD in astrophysics. He has a vast array of books and tapes. He's a world-renowned lecturer, and on the galactic community and his experiences in Agartha. And he's a phenomenal communicator. Very clear soul. So what we've been doing since that happened, we need to complete attaining protection of the Garden of Eden, the return of Eden to the physical plane. So that's what we're doing now. Unfortunately, there's been a lot of bloodshed and a lot of war and this, that, and the other, all contrived by the reptilian occupation, headed by Malti Shetty, Swami Trilasanand, and Shibakasa. And then they have some of their warlords, again, Admiral Tremaine, and Kangar is a big reptilian in the underground bases, and so on. And that's where we're at. So we've had whistleblowers, wayshowers, all kinds of research. There's books on it. David Icke has written about the reptilian overlords of the Illuminati. And so some of us have connected the dots quite extensively. I've done it tremendously. And networking needs to be done right now. Of the leaders of the New Earth and those whose lives have been dedicated to it, to the New Earth and New Age of Light. But there's a lot of adversity because the reptilian regime that controls part of the U.S. government, on Millian Biden, and KOS, of course, is in the White House and controls the president. And I observed how he's controlled the last 3 presidents. When I started observing it. So we came to anchor the protection, which is in the form of the law, which is really beautiful because we realized, and I'm not saying it doesn't exist elsewhere, we have solar tribunals. The galaxies have solar tribunals that enforce the law. But it does need to be refined a little bit in the area of full protection and respect of the Divine Feminine, because that's an area where Swami Trilasananda the Serpent has deliberately blocked the evolution of the man, the conscious recognition of this. It is our natural state because we're all children of God, and we're all divine and have divine sparks as well as individual aspects of the Creator. And that is our divine sparks are really all aspects of the Creator are light, love, and divine power. There's nothing negative. We are not sinners, but we do have free will and free choice. For the variety, to choose our paths and what experiences we would like to have, and to process our experiences. But it is illegal to break the law. And so we have a beautiful, elaborate justice system down here on Earth. It's so exquisite what we have attained. And while they are a beautiful galactic enlightened and benevolent galactic community, have been protecting us all along, whether we have been aware of it or not. And we've always had a little help from Saint Germain and Jesus. If we had known and had prayed and had, if more of us had kept pure hearts and kept in touch with our hearts again and our spirit guides and prayed and meditated more, we would have realized that there was more help out there for abundance to have our needs met. In fact, we've always had a galactic presence, and if we had realized that they would have blessed us, same thing with Saint Germain and Jesus and so on, with our taking care of our needs as we were developing our own technology, because of because of the sinking of the continent, so we sort of had to start over. So Soul Mitchell Blessed, King Soares, and a few others. George Weiss, Donald Wilson III, Antichrist, the Beast of the Earth, and she she's head of the child trafficking and animal trafficking around the world. She's part of a committee, and she's been doing it for quite a while. I know at least about 10 years or so. They all need to be arrested. They have infinite war crimes, and they need to be arrested. And this will bring a stop to the invasion. So it's very, very into the contrived war, and Biden needs to be controlled, and rectification and amends need to be made towards other countries. When the more that we enforce the law, and we work towards the peace process, the more that we can hold the abundance. And the more that the law is enforced and the divine feminine is protected and respected, the more the love can flow freely through the physical plane, through earth, and the more the abundance can flow. And it won't be getting hoarded, it won't be getting trapped, it won't be getting used to destroy. You see, that's how you apply this kind of knowledge, this information, this wisdom. And it is our duty, and it's our half, it's our part, our synergy with our benevolent galactic community and the positive ETs to complete our part right now, which is anchoring the law fully by shutting the reptilian regime down from Earth, from 3D. And we have the grace to do it, and we plan to do it consciously a long time ago in order to shut this criminal regime down so the whole universe can evolve freely for eternity, ecstatically, with infinite God realization, infinite enlightenment, and infinite potential, responsibly above the law, mastery, creativity, relationships, love, for eternity, which is what it was always meant to do, and stewardship. And I have added to my definition throughout my life of the purpose of life, which I think I used to say was to evolve and play, and I've added to it the last few years. It's protect, steward, evolve, and play. And that's the part where we've been missing. And that is also the part that I bring to the table, and I complete the circle of life. And that's why I'm so important. And that's why I'm being persecuted so heavily, because the reptilians, headed by Malti, are always destroying. And so that's why, they persecute the peace activists so much. Okay, so they've always done it. And the closer that civilization gets to recognizing their destructive behavior and who controls them and leads them, the more violently they attack to take over and to control and to destroy. And that's all that's going on. So these figures need to be arrested, and a few other warlords around the world, and everyone else can get adjudicated. But when there's infinite abundance and love and beauty, and the law and intergalactic society will have that. And that is also care. Stewardship is protection and care of the planetary kingdom, the animal kingdom, and the species. And protection of the creator, cosmic hierarchy, ascended masters. And it is flat out abominable to be attacking any child or even animal. Anything that the dark hats say in that regard is as a complete lie. So just dismiss it. And anybody that talks like that really needs to be investigated. Okay, there's absolutely no excuse. It's against divine law. Okay. the children's brains are not developed enough even until they're 21 years old to make conscious, self-conscious, bad choices. They are under the auspices of their parents and the influence, of their parents. And it is, you know, it is our responsibility and our duty, and there's no words. It's our responsibility to protect them, cherish them, provide an abundant environment, to love them and empower them. And they are also our teachers, as we've always known, as well as us being their teachers. We're always learning from each other. They also carry the enlightenment from the previous generations, and and from the current generation, and they further it. So the children are always part of the evolution of the cosmos. They're always taking the evolution of the cosmos to the next step, because they imbibe the current level of enlightenment, and they take it further. So protection, the Creator told me to protect about 15 years ago or so, more, 15 and 20 years ago. And that's what we need to do. We need to protect our freedom. We know that phrase, but many of us have decoded it, the dark government. And that is the Antichrist regime that actually works with the reptilian occupation. And I decoded who heads the reptilian occupation. And I also happen to be first contact again, which is why I'm so highly targeted and persecuted. There's no way around it. The law needs to be enforced, and these terrorists need to be arrested. And that will stop the destruction to the planet, and to the physical plane, and allow everyone to network on the New Earth peace process and learn from each other and learn each other's roles and how we'd like to contribute, those that want to the new infrastructure, which is the incorporation of equality, equal opportunity, full protection, respect to the divine feminine, stewardship, intergalactic society. And the leaders will be learning more. It'll be available to everybody. But in order to interact with our galactic community, which is benevolent and enlightened, we need to learn to co-create with the Creator and integrate, accept our spirituality, which has been stifled by the reptilian occupation, and more, and it will become part of our everyday life. And, again, to be more aligned with the Creator and our spirit guides, and more authentic, and humble. And the contactees are great teachers for teaching us how to interact with them. All of us that have interacted with them are very humble and very respectful. And in fact, sometimes they show their a level of enlightenment towards me, and it blows me away. And I retreat a little bit inside, and I giggle in humility, because they show flashes of their enlightenment, which is a level of guruship on our planet. It freaks me out a little bit. So that's how enlightened the entire galactic community is. And it is entirely not appropriate for the U.S. government or military to be mocking anybody, to be mocking them, because they have had a woolly pulled over their heads, their eyes, by the reptilian occupation, and that has controlled the Illuminati, or the Dark Illuminati, and the Dark Illuminati funds, at least part of the military, And so they have stifled, our education of the universe, and some of our training, their training. And so it's important to repartnership. We're going to be doing that, but it needs to be done. It needs to be started to repartner. With, our galactic community and benevolent ETs, positive ETs, and to do it very, very respectfully and with a pure heart. And in fact, what I'm seeing is to have some committees throughout the U.S. government and military who can learn and have some contactees, consult with them to begin learning, their relationship with the galactic community. It's with humility, sincerity, a pure heart, and incredibly full heart, a heart full of gratitude, overflowing with gratitude for what they've done for us. They've been protecting us from the reptilians. They have disabled missiles. They have protected us from nuclear holocausts. A lot of them. They've been protecting us at least since Lemuria, perhaps longer. And they've been around, and they fed us technology. They've given us our food, and Earth is starting to wake up to what they have done for us, which is just about everything. The Creator has given us the most beautiful planet in the entire universe with which to establish and attain cosmic peace. And it's the shutting down again of the reptilian regime, which is a criminal regime. It's like a mafia, headed by Malti and Shibakaza and Admiral Germain. Those are the main ones. There's a Hitler, sort of a Hitler clone. And though they're all it's a slave group of, again, victims of our former holocausts with overlords. So First Contact will remove the reptilian occupation from Earth and shut down the reptilian regime galactically. And then the karmic board will be used to evaluate their karma to keep the fields intact. And again, with everybody, we'll have divine justice on everybody. And so those with good karma will get their desired civilizations back, will return to their desired civilizations, so they can ecstatically continue to evolve freely, and have fun, and go back to their societies. So it will get converted and transmuted, so to speak. And that's how beautiful it is. God's body is the universe, and as I've talked about, the template of God's body is over Earth. And it is extremely beautiful, and we have an extraordinarily rich and diverse culture and set of cultures down here on Earth, and religions, different religious faiths. And we have a lot of history, and quite a bit of it is painful, but we have, the way that I look at it is we have transmuted a lot, and we have evolved really a lot from the consciousness. I'm not going to process too much out loud here, but at least from the consciousness in this last leg of history, since the Egyptians. And actually, I'm going to say that we have evolved very, very consciously with the most sophisticated divine genome that I Isis has given us, the mother of humanity, the master geneticist, and the most sophisticated emotional body in the cosmos, with which to transmute the little adulterations and anomalies that Malti has caused. So that's mainly lack of respect for the divine feminine, full respect for the divine feminine, which is our nature, as we're all children of God, and duality and criminality, which the Antichrist, inflicts and harasses people with, and has affected many civilizations and religions and societies with, and making people think it's okay to break the law, and it's not. It's illegal. So, and that is a fake paradigm, and we have been transmuting that. We know that it's illegal to break the law. It's illegal to harm anyone. Our warrior skills are meant, and it's the man's primary duty to protect. And I say the woman is a director, man is a structural support, and the protection of the universe, and the female is the universe itself, and the love, and the manager, and we caretaker, and together we both steward the cosmos, we both care for it, and we do both protect it, and that's what we're meant to do together. So, a word about the new Earth. So, first contact will cause, in the first couple of days, everyone in the cosmos that needs it, because there are civilizations that have been blown up, okay? There's a lot of pain in certain areas of the universe. This is not okay. So everyone that needs it, including on our planet, will be housed and fed and cared for, and loved within the first couple of days. The very, very negative political leaders that are in the way of peace, will be replaced with positive ones, benevolent ones. And again, the reptilian regime will be transmuted back to their desired civilizations, and certain ones will be prosecuted. And there will be mass arrests. It will be cleaned up, and as it gets cleaned up, the prosperity funds will be released. There's a number of them. No one needs to worry about the money. It is Biden and Trump that have been for Swami Trivalasana and the King's Swords, and Milley, that have been blocking the my Bush prosperity fund the last few years. We've tried to spread it out in millions and hundreds of millions around the world, and they're blocking it, and they've been withdrawing quite a bit of it. So, it's not appropriate to be persecuting me over it. It's appropriate to be holding them accountable for this. And that's the shift that needs to take place. We need to recognize how easy it is, and I have seen a bunch of people see how easy it is to make these arrests. And that is the key, and that is the answer of these arrests and first contact. So, infrastructure, new infrastructure committee teams, support teams, work teams, and I've suggested cabinets on the new Earth in the federal government and military, and even for the governor and even for the police department, so that the regular running of things can still go on. And the cabinets can help oversee and keep the regular cabinets informed. They can become experts and help oversee and manage the conversion, to the new infrastructure. That includes experts on new infrastructure advisory committees that have specialty fields in them, such as child psychologists, victim witness coordinators, astronauts, quantum physicists, priests, things like that, and contactees if there's not enough for them to be on the task forces. But they can, of course. And the task forces I see are the implementers, and I see them as being half security and half infrastructure, new infrastructure. So the global, upon first contact, so the global new infrastructure committee, will be half galactic and half Earth. And so everyone will just continue to amalgamate, get to know each other and each other's roles. And Ashtar has been appointing managers on that level, on a global level and country level. So the earth will be replenished. The crime will be taken out. Everyone will be abundant. Everyone will have money. Everyone will be housed. Everyone will have equal opportunity. Universities will spring up. Villages, towns, and cities will spring up. The rubble, everything's going to be with recycling. We're not going to exploit anymore. We do have, the Garthans graciously have the galactic technology. It only takes 4 to 5 molecules from a landfill to make a house. So we're not going to need to exploit anymore. We will be replenishing the planet, and the forests need to be stopped getting attacked. And I've done a tiny bit of research. Paper products can be made from grass, and it's complete reptilian mind control. That has to do with attacking the forests, because they're so very, very important. And so I'm urging humanity to look at that quickly. Until we have galactic technology, it's decided, and we have been co-creating this with the creator and the spirit guides, where you analyze what you're looking at, what you would like to accomplish. And then the committee, will receive the inspiration and from the spirit guides from the creator on, how to proceed. That is the highest blessing for everyone in the situation, for everyone, for the whole universe. So I'm just going to give the example here. So hay can be used, and hay grows quickly, to make paper products instead of, it should never be attacking any force for anything. They're so very, very important to our planet, to our ecosystem, to the animal kingdom, and to everything, to spirit. They are a part of life and part of the wholeness of life. But to use this as an example, so if we immediately start doing that while we're preparing for first contact, and stop attacking the forests, the more that, again, the more we become responsible and do more stewardship, and stop attacking one another and be about peace and partnership, unity and diversity and sharing of power, political power and resources, working together, and protection from reptilian threats. And of course, there won't be any after first contact, but you will always be trained and will always be very, very trained to do so. And it will be a fully policed universe, not just 75%, but 100%. So that's what it's going to look like. And we will take our place among the stars in many ways. And we will participate in that. So it'll be a lot of fun. So the warrior clan can do it up there as well as down here. But so back to that. So say, for example, so we use hay for the paper products. The more peace that we bring to the planet, stewardship, the more the galactics are able and willing to assist us, give us a little bit of technology. And also after first contact, we've done our part by anchoring the law, shutting the reptilian regime down, finished transmuting these anomalies in consciousness, graciously with their permission, as the use of technology that they are willing to give us. So then you analyze how much, and I'm not going to do it here, but it's an example. If it's appropriate, you talk to Mother Earth to even use hay, and how much to use galactic technology to make our paper products, or to recycle landfill. Mother Earth is telling me we'll be recycling landfill. And also, the technology does exist to recycle landfill already, and I already know about that. So that's also another option, and that comes from our own labor of love and our own hearts, and that's a really beautiful labor of love. So we really do not need to be using the oil. We do not need to be using the trees, not even the coal. And there's plenty of free energy technology available. It's just being suppressed by the reptilian occupation that controls part of the U.S. government. And so those of us whistleblowers that have been passionate about peace, that have figured this out, have decoded the overlords, the reptilian occupation and influence, and who they're influencing, so that we can transmute this negative paradigm and this victimization of the reptilians. Because anybody that Swami Trivalasana and Multi have convinced to rape or exploit, have been victimized out of ignorance. And it's very, very important to recognize this, because all are loved and all are equally cared for in the universe. And she was too. But she's not salvageable. So there'll be prosperity funds, and they will be released ultimately as we can hold it. Within 3 months, everyone on the planet will have $100 million. Within a year, or 2 or 3, the money, we were saying a year until recently, the money will be infinite. And ultimately, eventually, again, cosmic energy, or even landfill, or molecules, from something like that, can be converted to gold. So we do have to heal our poverty consciousness, because the reptilians have deprived us for so long. Not just this lifetime, but previous lifetimes and previous planets. Okay, and previous cycles. And we do need to do that. And I do recognize that, and I always have. But it also drives the point home how important it is that what it is to have money and have abundance, but not have love, and not have our relationships intact, healthy relationships, and our integrity and our fullness of heart, and the opulence of the universe. So, which comes from love and the fullness of heart and integrity of life, and integrity of the original divine blueprint of the universe. And that can only be attained with the law, and maintained and sustained with the law and with the justice process. And therefore, we do not want to be hurting each other at all. It is against the law. It's not necessary. All issues can be resolved amicably. The warrior skills are only used in extreme cases, as we all know, as we all grown up. It's obvious and common sense, to protect ourselves, or to preserve in situations where it's necessary, and with the Creator's permission, Karmic Board's permission. So we're heading into, after first contact, a new Earth, a new infrastructure, the roads paved in gold. and juice sealed, and that's where that comes from. We have a beautiful some revision of our infrastructure to reflect what I've mentioned. We have universities, 5,500 universities springing up around the world. That will all be top-notch education, and of course there'll be specialties and so on. Our high school systems will reflect the highest level of consciousness and education that we have attained. It'll teach what we learned before, and the corrections, including cosmic history, and the trends and the corrections of the destructive myths in our societies and in our religions, with stewardship and full protection and respect of the divine feminine. And in my 2 cents are chivalry, healthy relationship skills, communication, trailblazing, stewardship, spending time learning to take care of the planet, take care of the animals, animal communication, faiths of the world, spending more time on the various faiths, and including having teachers and gurus come to school and give talks, so students can get a feel and experience the different faiths, and different types of meditation, contemplation, prayer, and so on, and the different forms of thought that are all a part of God. And the truth of that is anchored, that's a part of God. And integrated psychology, which includes all 4 parts of the body. It's physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. Again, the emotional body is the interactor between our soul and the physical plane. And the reptilians told the Illuminati to deny its existence and its importance. It's how we process and interact with the physical plane. And I am contemplating a different term for it, because emotional, in a way, to me is a little bit limiting, because it seems like it's just the feeling body, because really the interactor between our soul and the physical plane includes both our thought body as well as our feeling body. So I'm personally, contemplating another term for it, but the emotional body, the importance of it has been denied and suppressed in order to prevent the Enlightenment to shut the reptilian regime down, because integrating all of our experiences with truth and self-love, you attain wisdom, and you realize the love that we are and the children of God that we are, and that we are loved by the Creator. And when we integrate our experiences with truth and self-love, we always come back to the heart. Our heart, truth and wisdom always takes us back to our own hearts. And our hearts are the link to the Creator, and to our divine power, and to all answers, and to all wisdom, and all divine inspiration, and all answers on how to make life better, and to improve it, and evolving, and of course our spiritual path and enlightenment. And that's what the reptilians are afraid of, and that's why they suppress our ability to process our experiences, and to contemplate, and to question. And the gurus question everything, and that's how they get to know so much, and they endeavor to know everything. So that's very important. And so we will learn that. Of course, it'll become every day for families as well. And in the Creator, God will come back into politics more. We created a spiritual council about 10, 12, 14 years ago when I put the divine plan together. Um, and also more recently, just this past year, political counsel. So the governments can use that. They're 100% clear and accurate. And they're wonderful. And so I think that the gurus and the teachers, some of them need to catch up on full protection, respect the divine feminine, and what's going on right now. But we need that. We need more of that back in our government. What Sri Chinmoy was doing a number of years ago. And I did meet him back in the early 80s. So we'll be up to speed on all these areas. In our education system, everyone will be learning self-defense. It'll be the cutest thing. All the galactics know self-defense. This is our natural divine birthright, and also our natural heritage, and also it is our nature. So that has been suppressed. And so we'll all be doing that, and everyone will know self-defense. And it'll be appropriate for everyone's constitution. It'll be a lot of fun. Police department will be involved, and so on. I'm getting right now, we'll learn to use our psychic abilities and psychic self-defense. And what I'm also getting right now is we will learn to discern between truth, and non-truth, psychically, and dark and light, so that we have better discernment and can use those faculties more effectively. So there's so much breadth and width and beauty, stewardship and care and love, and we have the freedom to have unencumbered relationships, as the Antichrist does suppress relationships that are important to the current ascension process. So we will no longer have that encumbrance, and we'll be able to explore ourselves infinitely. We'll have more spiritual centers. We'll have crystal cities. At the return of Lemuria, as everyone on surface Earth would like to have. The continents will come back up. Atlantis and Lemuria will come back up as we get divine justice on their behalf. We all do it together. And then they will be able to come back up. And I got that recently. I knew they would be coming back up throughout my life, but I just got the divine justice part just in the last few days, what is required in order for that to happen. Because that was an attack by the reptilians. And so we'll be able to co-create our paradise to enhance our paradise here on Earth. We'll clean things up. We'll have galactic technology, combination of galactic technology with their permission and our own labors of love to clean things up. We all need to remember how much love has gone into our buildings, our museums, our history, our courthouses, even our schools. And we need to preserve these things and our cultures. And I can't say enough about how can't even find the words how beautiful and how important it is to preserve our cultures here. We have protection. We have the exquisitely rich and ornate cultures of protection, of guardianship, of sacred, of freedom, of independence, of light, of color, of artistry, of culture, of power, of love. Do you see what we have on Earth? And we have parts of different star systems around the universe, because we've all come from different star systems to do this together. So we're attaining unity consciousness, transmuting a couple of anomalies I mentioned, the lack of respect for the divine feminine, which is not our nature, but the multi caused that. And because we initially did respect and love each other, she just attacked the man really badly. And that's what caused the problem. So that's what we're correcting. And so I'm going to say it here, now that I'm on to that one. Everybody knows the problem, and that's what I've realized. And that has been an eye-opener for me. And I'm 60 years old right now. And I'm just realizing in the last few years how much everybody knows. And, however, anybody would have done this. If I hadn't done it, someone else would have a long time ago. But, so I put together the solution. And we've all done this together because we all grow and evolve together and learn from each other. And that is that the witch, Malti, the black dragon serpent, that has attacked the universe and attacked the man and attacked the female, needs to be arrested, adjudicated, and contained, and the destruction needs to stop. So we had to nail down who it was and how to do it. And she's developed quite a regime, so that needs to be nailed, shut down, and transmuted, okay? The man needs to be forced to be more responsible in his protection, stewardship of the cosmos. And first contact will, again, shut down the entire reptilian regime and transmute it, reconvert it, per the karmic board, back to their desired civilizations. And again, all beings will be, we will be required, because it is a law, to master full protection and respect of the divine feminine. And we will rear our children to do so. So that is the answer to the problem. And that's in our lifetime, and that's incredible, how much we're doing in this lifetime. So, really quickly, so we have, again, we have new infrastructure, we have prosperity funds, we'll be replenishing the earth, we'll be cleaning things up, we will be beautifying, how can I say, one of my favorite things to do when working on the new infrastructure, say for a town, is I love working on the recreation part. I love working on, because of my specialties, on transmuting the mental system into group homes, which I've been working on inwardly, with some professionals. But it's a very big passion of mine because I'm the reincarnation of Carl Jung. So I specialize I have a mastery in integrating the emotional body, and I've written a book on it, but it hasn't been published yet. So that's a big passion for me. So for example, in a desert town, we might, with Mother Earth's permission, the Galactic's permission, we might want to put a lake, and with their permission, a wave machine and a water park. I love that stuff. It's so much fun. And in the area where I'm at, we're in a desert town, and we have the thought of bringing Pink Jeep tour down here if they would like to come. And the desert is really, really beautiful, and Mother Earth loves that idea. She says that's like a massage to her. We need more things to do in this area. It's a fairly small area. And so I've been putting things together, and with input inwardly from others, but I have discussed it physically a little bit with others as well. And I'm being blocked, by the King of Swords and the Antichrist regime, from being in the public. So, but presentations need to be made and networking needs to be done. And so people will be able to go out four-wheeling in the desert and enjoy the exquisite beauty of the desert here. It's a very, very, very beautiful state, and the whole planet is extraordinarily, exquisitely beautiful. We want a lake in this area with all the water sports again. I would like a boardwalk and a couple of restaurants. a larger farmers market, a more developed farmers market, a larger quaint shopping district. There's a theme for every town, every area, and the theme for this area is the White Sandy Oasis. And the museums, be a museum which have the show the transition from old to new, the old earth to the new earth. More palm trees, more trees, more grassy lawns. Let's see, a couple of amphitheaters, an indoor and outdoor, medium-sized theater for music. From what I've seen, we don't have enough music in this area. And a permanent amusement park, except for maybe 2 or 3 months in the wintertime where it can rest or something like that. And with the amphitheaters where we can have our concerts, with beautiful desert colorful foliage around them and against the desert sunset, a hot air balloon ranch, and possibly a racetrack. There's quite a bit of land in this area and it wants to be used to a certain degree. So that's how you start interacting with things, you see. And so that's an example of how to think about this and work with it, work with your infrastructure. So there'll be that. We will have, again, intergalactic concerts, cosmic concerts, intergalactic sports, intergalactic entertainment, with their permission, of course, but we've been talking about it. And it's so much fun. I'll be sharing. Can you imagine when we have cosmic peace? Can you imagine? Can you imagine that in our lifetime? Can you imagine having dinner with the Pleiades 2 years from now? And visiting Akon on Meton for a weekend? And one of my teachers is the book Beyond the Light Barrier of Elizabeth Clare, who grew up in South Africa, and her father raised white Arabian horses. And Akon is a Lemurian ancestor. And they went and they founded, I think it's called Meton, and he visited her when she was 9 years old and her sister. So they saw a flying saucer when they were 9 in South Africa. And he continued to visit her. So when she got older, she became a pilot because of this. They made contact. And so they had a child, and he brought Elizabeth, she's very, very beautiful, onto his planet for a while, for a few months. Very, very beautiful. So that relationship was a bridge between two civilizations, the galactic realm and our planet. And that anchored that bridge. And, with all of the conspiracy to block our knowledge of our galactic relationship by the reptilians and by Malti, who heads them, this is a very, very, very important step. Area 51 was a very important diplomatic mission from the benevolent Greys to humanity that sparked off a political, diplomacy, and relationship and partnership that would have led to the demise of the reptilians. And so you start thinking on that level, and that's why the reptilians created an electrical anomaly, or they would, my understanding is they worked with, some of their some of the military that, of course, had Willie pull over them to make them think, that they needed to take this mission down. So and they didn't know what they were doing. You see how much, how much has been blocked from us, and their tactics in doing so. So that was a very important mission. So that needs to be healed. And 9/11 needs to be healed. So Swami Tripalasana ordered it, planned and ordered it. King of Swords executed it. And they need to be arrested. And a few other Dark Cabal members need to be arrested, and that will heal 9/11, allow the souls to cross over. That was also extremely important. In my situation in Colorado, the invasion into Colorado, that murdered my pets, broke into my house, crashed my computer, deleted my internet accounts, my website, clipped the phone line out to my pole, and caused a catastrophic flood, and took my life out. And continues to do so, and trafficked my pets all over the country and tortured them. And then all the trafficking, that needs to be fixed. That needs to be healed and avenged, okay? And that will bring healing to the planet and to the physical plane, and allow this planet to evolve and to have the new Earth. So there's so much to look forward to. We have Cosmic Christmases. We have Kris Kringle. Is real. He's an ascended master. And he is our Santa Claus. And his wife. And we have reindeer that want to participate. And spacesuits, the galactic suits, which maintain the body temperature and the protection in space. And on I think he said 5 square mile or 5,000 square mile sleigh. And he has been preparing presents for the last several years. But, the dark government, so to speak, the Antichrist regime government, Biden, Milley, who've been following so much Tripalasana and QS. And the reptilians they are extremely, Malti is extremely aggressive, okay? Extraordinarily aggressive and very violent, okay, in her takeover. She's the one that's spearheading the takeover and has always done this. And so that's why it's very important just for her to simply be arrested. When you don't allow the crime and you stop the destruction, and the people that are responsible for it are forced to rectify, and then you restore the field on both sides, and you preserve everyone's souls, and you restore everyone's life force and the light. And the light comes back to the physical plane. So it's very, very important to do this, and you have the camaraderie of everybody. And the leadership, again, this has been an issue. 85% of the leadership has already been anchored for the new Earth, and it does include the U.S. military. And I'm not trying to control the military, just help direct it and get it up to speed. And if the Antichrist regime, King Swords, and Malti and their black ops and Milley weren't blocking me from being in the public, I'd have my PhD by now, physically, and be making presentations with other contactees and other professionals, including astronauts and politicians, and executives and celebrities, experts on the new Earth that have dedicated their lives to the new age, that are grad degrees, contactees, and so on. And so people would be getting informed, the government and the military would be getting informed, and the public, and we would be heading towards this closure. And I also prayed for the cure for the virus when it first broke out, and the Agarthans graciously answered that and offered it. So that can be spread around more fluidly and just end the virus altogether. The population, as I've talked about, the galactics take care of overpopulation of any population. With everyone's permission, they relocate a group to another planet that gives permission and with the Creator's permission, and that is equally cared for. And that's how they deal with that. After we've anchored peace on Earth, with the Creator's permission, and the Creator satisfied with anchoring peace on Earth, cosmic peace, colonies of humanity will be able to relocate to a few other planets. We will have intergalactic society here. We need to put some VIP galactic housing together for our galactic community. So we have cosmic holidays to look forward to, and I don't know how to say this, but I see all of us having dinner with each other. And in the same way we have travel back and forth between our countries, we're going to be doing that on a cosmic scale. And that's how much fun it's going to be. Okay, so with this, I'm going to say adieu, namaste, amen. This is Malika. I'm signing off. I love you all. Blessings. Happy New Year. I will say that the New Year's message for 2/22 that I got was law and light in action. The New Year's message for 2/23 that I got is peace, law in action, arrests. The message for 2024, is enjoy the fullness of God. Okay, G-Man. Blessings, Malika.